guys, it's Colby. I'm back with another video. This time around we're going to go over how to get off the starter planet super easy and some tips and tricks when you're just starting out, you're fresh, you don't have any allies, you may be a solo player, things like that. So we're going to use my server's templates. I'm on my test server right now so that I have no interference from anybody else. So that's all going to be taken out. This is kind of assuming best case scenario. It's going to be like a build order in an RTS game. It's something you got to loosely follow. There will be changes depending on how many people are on that playfield when you go on, or if it's a fresh wipe, if you have to get meteors, stuff like that. And I'll go over that more in the video later when I come to that junction. For now, we're going to go over step by step the steps I take when I jump into a new server or into even my own. So first steps first, we arrive in the server once we connect to the origin selection screen. You need to read these carefully, otherwise you're not going to start correctly. On my server, there's one origin strictly meant for PvE and 4 origins meant for PvP. And you can find that out right here. It says the name, and that's where I put it. Someplace might other put it in the description, something like that. The Earth Federation, only PvE. So if you're a PvE player, this is where you need to go. As I scroll through the other ones, the Reach, Expanse, United Colonies, Pirates, which is CAR. I may rename that later, but that's besides the point. It says only PvP next to all their names. Now, I know some of you are going to look down here and say, hey, mode, it says PvE. That's the planet that you spawn on mode. I have the starter planet that you spawn on set to PvE to prevent gang ups on new players, or things like happen like if you play for a couple hours and you log off, well, there's 20 other people on the starter playfield because the server just started up and a lot of people want to play. Your base runs out of power and people can get into it without ever having to contest with that cannon turret you put on top because it's a tier 1 base, stuff like that. So that's why the starter planet itself is PvE. Don't worry about this mode down here too much in relation to the origin names and stuff like that. I mean, it's important to notice that it's PvE and not PvP down here, but when it says only PvP, this is what you really need to pay attention to. So without further ado, we're going to get into how I actually go about things here in the build order that I use. I'm going to start in the Expanse because that's what I do in the actual game. Not really any difference with how the plants are generated. They're relatively the same for the starters, so everyone has an equal opportunity at a start. And we're just going to sit here at the loading screen for a little bit. So we're going to start in our pod here. First thing you're going to notice is I'm not going to leave the pod. I know most of you probably don't, but terrible decision to leave your pods where you're going to get all your crap from. If I look around with the alt tool, I'm going to notice that I spawn by the crash cockpit. In my server, you spawn with a lot of stuff in your escape pod here, so you don't need to worry about it, but there is extra stuff in there. The crash cockpit, so that is something to keep note of. I won't use it here just for simplicity's sake. Maybe you don't spawn by it right away. I'm going to assume kind of like you get what you get, and that's where we're going to go from. So I'm going to steer my escape pod over here. 1, because there's a POI here, and 2, because there's water. Water is good if you're going to need O2. We don't need it specifically because we're on temperate, but later we might need it for SV or CV. And sometimes the mods kind of gather around water for whatever reason. So I get out, grab the shit from my escape pod, and everything's over here in my inventory. So first thing I'm going to do is run around a little bit, take my helmet off, even though the new version doesn't make you use oxygen if your helmet's on. If you're on a oxygenated planet, I'm just going to take it off. I don't like the black edges. Turn on my jetpack with J, get over to the water and kind of chill here. I've noticed my surroundings. I've got a magnesium deposit, silicone, iron, and cobalt near me. I'm just kind of missing promethium and copper, so it's not a bad spawn point for me. I got relatively lucky. It's good. Next, I'm going to order my hotbar the way I like it. I personally like to have my pistol here, my chainsaw next, and my drill when I start out. Then I'll go with stuff I'm going to place down, so my survival constructor, and I think that's it. Everything else I kind of leave here. It's a little hodgepodge now. I'm going to put my emergency rations over here. I like to have my food in the number 9 slot. O2 is not really needed right now. Medkits are going to go in the 8 slot. That's about it for that. Oh, antidote pills will go in the 7 slot. So if I carry those, I usually try and group my food and healing stuff in one area and my fighting and placement stuff in the other. That's just personal preference. Other people like to do other things, but I like to be a little bit organized with that. So I'm going to put down my survival constructor, turn that on. I allow faction access just out of habit because my faction usually spawns together and get crap done. I'm going to put my cores in there. I don't think drones kill these right now, so it's safe to put a lot of the stuff that you don't want to lose in there. All my ores are going to go in there because I don't need them on me right now. The cores, anything I don't deem that I will need on me right away. So first things first is you're going to want to get a base up and running. You're going to need that. I'm going to go a little bit of a lengthier, shorter way where I'm not going to make a full base. So here, that's where your first detour with me is going to be. So I'm going to make a little crappy base because I'm going to assume you want to get off starter ASAP to get ahead of your competition. So my base won't have too much on it. If I start getting drone notifications, I might throw up a turret. You'll see that later if it happens. If not, I'll just let it go. So it's going to be a pretty bare bones base. I'm not going to stress in making a nice pretty one. If you want to stay on the planet longer and make a better CV than I'm going to make, then maybe you want to make a better base and spend some more time with that. But I don't, and I'll go through that real quick in a little bit here. So I'm going to look at these three things. Are the most valuable part is the constructor, fuel tank, and generator. I'm going to construct the components for all these one at a time, make them, and that's how I'm going to start this out. So let's look at metal components 12, capacitor devices 2. Let's go over here. I have a terrible memory, so we're just gonna, and output counts 2, so I need 6. Then we need 2 capacitor devices. Those require a lot of shit in them, as you can see, so we're gonna need a lot more than I thought we were, so we'll work on that last. No reason to oh, that's the reactor core, so back to capacitor devices. Those still require a lot of stuff. Alright, so I guess we'll just start off with the reactor core. We need 1 motor, 3 pipes, 3 cables, 3 electronics. So let's get the cables going, the electronics going. Pipes require steel plates. It's an output count of 10, so we'll make like 2 of those. So yeah, it's a little bit of a tedious process in the beginning. You're making stuff. It's a little unfortunate. It's just the way it goes. Now, normally, if I was making a nicer base, what I would do here is I would really get that cranked up and spend a lot of time making sure all those components, I would make a bunch of them, and I'd probably be a little bit wasteful with my ingots. Right here, I'm going to try and be super safe with them, because I'm only building a small base. I'm not working on a nice base, so I'm not going to go grab wood like I normally would with this chainsaw. I'm just going to build the bare minimum. So I'm going to kind of babysit this constructor a little bit, whereas I would kind of just, you know, come in here, turn this off so nothing happens. You just queue up, well, not like that. I'd queue up like a bunch of these, a couple of these, some of those, some of that, stuff like this, and it would kind of look like that, and I'd let it kind of run, and that way I would probably, and then I would kind of put a couple of these in there, and that way, like, by the end of the time that I probably come back gathering my wood or whatever, I would come back and be like, all right, well, I have enough to build these 3, and I missed out by this one, like 2 electronics, so I just built those and let it go. And that's how I would do it that way. If that's the way you're going to do it, that's the detour there, and you can kind of skip ahead to what I'm doing until I get to the next segment and just kind of, you know, take the video bar. So it turns out we have enough for this fuel tank already, just by chance. So we're just going to make that now, get it out of the way, turn that back on. I'm going to get up top of this hill here to place this starter base. Just easier, in my opinion, to build things. You can see a little bit more. It's not a huge deal. It's a little bit of run if I want to put an oxygen generator down there, but so I'm gonna throw it right here. Did forget to do this in the beginning. Make sure you always create a faction. It just super helps with things instead of being privated. You know, people are attacking you, stuff like that. They know who they're attacking. They know who to talk to, shit like that. Name your bases and your ships, especially if you ever think you're gonna need admin help. It makes their job a lot easier. So there's my starter base. Come down here, grab my components. Got my fuel on me. Throw my components in my hotbar so they're easier to place. So this is just a bare bones base, guys. I don't recommend doing this if you're super new. It doesn't leave a lot of room for error. In that case, if I were you, I would, we might not want that, so let's withdraw like 500. And you see, just replace it back up there. Yeah, so if you're like super new, I really, play single player and do this tutorial. Don't come right to multiplayer. That is a terrible idea. It's just a good way to get really confused and ask a bunch of questions. Everyone gets annoyed at you. Do like an hour or 2, maybe 5 in the tutorial. It'll just be better for you in single player, stuff like that. So I'm going to pick that up with shift right click or shift left click. I'm going to take it up here. I took everything out of it because I'm just going to throw it in this constructor. It's just better in any way. So now that I'm here, I have my base. My next step is going to be making an SV so that I can, and a armor locker actually, so I can put on my EVA suit and survive in space, so I can get up to space and mine some safety in Neo to make the warp drive. So while I'm here, we'll talk about this. This happens in the regular server. Not sure why. It's not a issue with our data center. You just saw you can sit through it. So if it pops up on your screen, just sit through it. It's not a big deal. So back to the video at hand. My next step is going to be making an SV. That's really bare bones. I'm not going to use any blueprints. I just create one by hand. That's pretty much a piece of trash and I never use again after I get off the starter. I'm going to make that so that I can go up and mine some safety in the Neo from the meteorites around planet. If those are already mined out, you know, you're late to the party. Starters are gonna wipe in a couple days, stuff like that. Just go to the moon. That's just a quick difference. Not that big of a deal, really, in what the step is here. So we're gonna come over to here to tech trees. We're gonna look at some stuff. I need to craft. Armor locker. I'm not any level, so I'm gonna go hunt and kill some shit because I know for a fact I do need levels. Quick fun tip. The chainsaw is great for leveling. It does a lot of damage. It insta-staggers people usually. So I'm going to come over here, and this thing's super hard to kill usually, and will gore me. So I'm going to hope I don't die, because that would be embarrassing. But I'm just going to chainsaw the motherfucking shit out of it. And it shouldn't be able to hit me if I do it correctly. I just get a shit ton of experience popping up in the bottom left there. You guys can see it. See the little ones running away if you look at the left-hand corner. And I just, boom, dinosaur's dead. Bunch of experience, got some food, all good. Oh, it's probably fine. Keep the fuel on us. Alright, so let's make a motorbike. While that's being made, throw down this. Just throw all of our food stuff in there. That's how I segment my stuff. It's not a big deal. Not something that you should be kind of worried about. Put it on, faction. Why didn't you make the motorbike? Base looks like it's off. I never started the base. So, pro tip 2, don't be like Colby and not start your base up. I mean, it did kind of help me save power, I guess, because we come here to the control panel. I've only got 2.5 hours, but, well, not 2.5 hours, almost 3 hours. That's 5 minutes. Oh, we'll talk about those later. Alright, so throw down our motorcycle. So it does look like I probably will have to make a turret here at some point, just to protect it. I'm going to be super cautious about it. If you got a friend, just leave one of you here. You really don't need both of you out and about doing things if you're trying to get off ASAP. One thing I didn't notice earlier is if we look over there, there's the back end and what looks like a village. So actually, I'm going to get started on a turret here. We're going to go into tech trees, base, and I'm going to get started on a turret. Come over to MISC. Grab cargo box, small ammo box, and oxygen generator. That should be good for now. I'm going to start making these things. I need the small ammo box. I am going to need some sort of blocks for oh, there's the drone. So we're going to try and meet him away from the base, so it eliminates all chances of him kind of attacking the core over us. I'd rather take damage on me than lose my only core and power to my base. Had to make one from scratch. Looks like he's shooting at the base for whatever reason instead of me, which is really annoying, especially because I didn't make a well-defended base, so we're just going to try and get him out of whack here. Try and keep all shots on target. And he's fleeing, not sure where to. And he looks like he's taking a good amount of abuse. And I'm going to try and actually soak up the damage for my base if I can. And get away from it. Oh, there's a plant monster too, make things a little more complicated. Alright, so he's down. We're going to take out the plant monster because we're low on ammo with the chainsaw. Just take all that, spoiled food. You will need it, so do take that with you. You're going to need that for grow plots and stuff. I'm not going to worry about that thing. We are probably relatively close to levels here. Get some free ammo. And we are level 7, so that's what I wanted to achieve. I think I'm going to need to hit level 10 for CVs, but we're not going to worry about that right now. We're going to get some of these other things done here. So there's our ammo box. I'm going to set it to cannon turret right now. I'm a little low on biofuels, so I'm only going to grab a little bit of this to make this turret section here. I'm going to get some wood, so this is what you would have been doing way earlier with most of your biofuel instead of using it to level. You probably would have been using it to cut down some wood, and then you would have had you or your friend go grab some seaweed to make some more biofuel from that lake, that water that we landed by, which is another reason that it's good to try and steer yourself to water. Alright, so 10 biofuel is not enough to really get us anywhere. We might wind up needing to go grab more biofuel. We might not. Still don't know yet. Actually, probably should have been more conservative and not use this charge here on this chainsaw, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. I'm going to reload this drill because we are probably going to need it. I throw these wood logs in here, tell it to queue up some wood. Grab these out, queue up 100 rounds of that. That should be more than enough to handle any drones. For later, I am going to need 15mm bullets. So I'm going to queue up a little bit there, and then I'm going to queue up an assault rifle and about 125 rounds. We're just going to queue up more than these I know I can produce, but I want a lot because I'm going to need to make a platform now with the way the physics are working in the game. That way the turret doesn't collapse what it's being built on. So we're going to move the bandages because we need to do this and this. We're going to put this over here and kind of use it as part of the platform. We are going to turn on, just so I know I don't mess up, we're going to turn on structural integrity so I can see what everything is. If this gets orange or red, that's bad news bears. These wood blocks will be good. So we'll start here, come over here, do this. You can see they're getting a little bit worse here. I can hear it. I don't know if you guys can through my... Oh, there he is. So I guess it was good to fuel up this chainsaw. We're going to use this again. I don't need any more wood, so I'm not concerned with how much fuel this has left in it. Kill that guy. And get back to the task at hand. Try and get on top of everything here. That's not the greatest color green, so I have extra blocks. I'm going to come down on the sides here. Stabilize it a little bit. Give myself a little walk up here. Alright, and then we're going to put the turret on. And we're good. So before we fuel this turret up, we are going to go to devices, cannon turret, and take him off of predators. Not need to really shoot those, we're not too concerned about it. I'm not concerned about these right here. We'll talk about that more in a PvP video. But we're going to take it off other factions. I know nobody's here. I'm all alone in the test server, and we're on PvE, so that doesn't matter. And we're really just concerned about alien, which is the drones. So we're going to come in here. It's still making wood blocks because it can. It's made our 100 ammo. I can't access my ammo box physically, so I'm going to use the P menu to grab it, go in here, and put the ammo in there. Because I like to have everything. I'm going to reload it manually, so it doesn't take the time to do that on its own. Get out of it, and that's all good to go. So now we're going to wait on our... These to be finished later for the small vessel. We can actually probably start... No, we're going to take a different route. So, one thing I do want you guys to do is, right now instead of doing the super uber fast method, I'm going to slow it down a little bit and grab a little extra resources. And I'm going to show you how we're going to do that. So, a lot of you that are new to the game, like super new, you took a massive break at some point, haven't really got into HV mining. So HV mining is where you take a HV, like one of these I downloaded from the workshop, the Ladybug, and you put these drills on front of it. You can't see my finger pointing. Right there on the front, if you look at the well, it's actually colored like a ladybug, you'll see 6 of them, 3 on either side, and you just hold left trigger onto a deposit or into the ground while it's moving and powered, and it'll mine for you. Put it in the harvest box. It is super fast and super easy, and you can mine out deposits really quick with it, so it's really good if you need a lot of resources quick. Segue here, if you're in the PvP area or on a PvE planet, wherever you're in a settable area, please use the auto miners. There's a reason I gave you those cores. Auto miners don't deplete the resources on the deposits, and when you get a decent amount of people and a decent amount of deposits and you protect them in PvP like you should be doing, they're a lot better. It's better on the planet. You don't gotta spend 8 hours a day mining to build your ships. You just kind of go around once a day and collect your auto miners. They run when you're not online. They run when the playfield's not running. They're just all around good, and they're in the game for a reason. Lots of people ask for them, and they're more efficient than these HV miners are if you get 2 or 3 of them down on a deposit, so you have a faction. If you're a solo player, they're not as efficient ore-wise. I mean, you could definitely get more through HV mining even when it's just meteorites spawning, but it's super annoying to spend 8 hours of your playtime mining. I just pulled that number out of my ass. Back from the days when we used to have to hand mine, that's what we were doing with 12 people to get up a good fighting force, but it's annoying for part of your day to be mining. It's a lot easier if you just go to these auto miners, fuel them up, collect the ore in them, and spend your day scouting and building ships, exploring that aspect of the game rather than all the mining part. You can do that in other games, not here. So here we also see that I need a level of 10 to get this. So if I was in the super fast build, I actually don't build this. I hand mine my stuff because I kind of pick those out. Like I pick the numbers out real easy, and I do that. I actually kind of count it out, and I use the hand drills and the tier 2 drill and do it that way. Here I'm going to just grab some extra resources, so it's going to be a little bit of a longer video due to that. And this takes 21 minutes to build. But I'm going to go, I need resources for this stuff, so I'm going to go grab these resources that I need based on the other resources. I don't care if I get to exactly 0 with this, because I know this is just going to mine everything for me. And I'm competent enough, if I fly near bases with turrets, I know which ones they are, the outpost and the drone base on this planet. I'll just keep it away from those or get out and shoot the drones first. So first, let's turn this off. We don't need the structural integrity anymore. So let's grab this, put that back, put this in our inventory. And this we can use for later. So we need approximately 200 more iron if we're looking at that. And just one over. Now we're just going to wait on that copper and start our ladybug. Alright, so we're going to start production, and we get to wait 20 minutes. Just look at this screen. Now, we're actually going to do this. Because I have admin powers here, I'm going to just finish the blueprint. And that way you guys don't have to wait for this. We're going to spawn the blueprint in. I got all this fuel on me because I didn't use it before. Auto group because I like doing that. Come to main, fill all. Let's actually see what that did. Yeah, not a lot because Ladybug doesn't have a big tank. KMC it. Ladybug, or whatever you want to name yours. Probably actually should fill the O2. Find out where I put that. Because I'm going to be in a cockpit, so I will be using O2. No, actually I won't. But we'll fill it anyway. While we're at it, we're going to want O2 later, so we're going to make one of these. And normally, if you're getting off planet and you're actually trying to like keep yourself alive, you're making a quick start CV, you'll make a water gen and stuff like that. You may take other small precaution steps, make a clone chamber, but to be perfectly honest, I just ran out of cobalt. Okay, that was one of why all these were going red. Perfectly honest, you don't really need a lot of that stuff. You're going to need these two if you plan to really take extra things with you, rather than just kind of go straight by the wire, but we're going to work straight by the wire here. I'm actually going to take this down here and put it down, just because, and then I'm going to get to go mining. Allow faction access, always do that. We're going to, oh, I actually can't use that there. They still have that for whatever reason, not letting you use the hydrogen fuel packs to fuel up stuff like oxygen, hydrogen generators, even though hydrogen fuel packs are the most worthless thing in this game. So I'm going to come in here, get inside my hover vessel, hold the spacebar to get myself up to 3 meters in the air, and let's start with this nice little silicon deposit. I have no defenses besides my gun on me. If you like, just throw a, actually zoom out here. If you would like to, just throw a ammo box in the back here and then throw a turret on top if you really are worried about drones attacking your hover vessel. Otherwise, you'll probably just fine. So the reason I get them up so high so I can tilt my nose down like this and drill straight down. Unfortunately, they don't work where you can just kind of drill and go down really nicely. So it is annoying a little bit to mine here. Everything is real touchy. But look at how fast I'm going. Look at those numbers at the bottom left. All that ore. I'm barely doing any work. It took me 2 seconds to do all this. Alright guys, so that glitch actually was super bad, and it actually reset us to the point where we actually went back to the spawn menu. So I'm going to God mode, and I'm going to go find where my old base was. Base isn't on. Now base is on. Small vessel starter. We are going to make about 10, I think it's 10. 10's a little overkill. I think it winds up being like 9. But cockpit, small 2 tank, small gen, fuel cell for that, 6 of these, an RCS, and then we wait. I'll show you the before and afters. So these, besides this, which was at 999, these were all at 250. So you can see how much resources it would actually take for you to build up one of these little cheap SVs that I make here to get up off planet to grab some Sathium Neo, and then I'll show you what it takes to make the CV by hand that I'm making, and that's where we'll end the video once we get the CV, and you guys will know how to warp. Actually, you know what? I'll show you the warping. That way you kind of understand how the map's laid out, since there seems to be a lot of questions on that, especially with the confusion of how the double map works. But just visit the website for that. There's 2 sides, PvE and PvP. They can't interact. They have 2 separate areas, so I call it 2 maps, but it's the same sector, you all. And they're separated to prevent some shenanigans where PvE players base PvE and raid PvP if I mix them. It happens a lot. It's the reason Rentech's not a PvP stronghouse, and HWS has those issues, and a lot of places wind up having issues like that. So I separate them. If you want to move from PvE to PvP, you can contact me, and we can go through what steps you need to take to do that. So now we're just going to wait. And I'm going to stop recording right now and wait till this is done. It takes a little while, so waiting game is pretty big here. Alright, so as you can see, we have everything made now. So we're going to start the construction of our SV. So we're going to start with the block. As you can see, no longer comes with the cockpit, so we did need to make a cockpit. So we're going to place that right now, right in front. It doesn't matter which one you place, we're just going to use the stock one because why not? And it's also 3, so it looks nice. It's not one of those 4 wides, which would look kind of weird. Oh, that's the wrong menu. That's the H menu instead of tab. So let's put all this stuff in our hotbar, except for you. And we're going to start building this. So I just kind of build this like this. I'm not really concerned about damage if I get hit, because if I get hit, the game's pretty much over anyway in terms of... Oh, that wasn't supposed to go on the side. That was supposed to go back here. But it's not a big deal. So now we're going to do these. So up, and then I need to rotate it to be down. So leave that's down. Over here, down. Leave it again. This side out. So we're going to do one for every direction. This side out. Backwards. I believe this is forward. We're going to do a quick check first. Yep, and forwards. So we actually didn't need those blocks. I'm just going to put them on. Ow. Owie. Ow. So if we had not had that crash, that turret would have protected us from something like that. Don't have to worry about it. So we're going to put the Gatling gun on top. In here we're going to put our 1 magazine's worth of ammunition. We've already filled it up, so we're going to turn our ship on. I did not make a landing gear for this one because I didn't feel like it and waiting. Actually, we don't have any of our we don't have our drill. So let's get our hand drill because we never found stuff for Sathium 1, so I'm not going to pretend that we did. So we're going to grab some biofuel and our hand drill, and we're going to do it that way. Right, so let's go up to orbit, reload our gun. Oh, we never filled our O2 up, which we had 2 of. So let's remember that. Fill all, and we're good to go. And we never put our EVA suit on. There's a lot of stuff we were missing due to that wipe, guys. I'm sorry. I keep forgetting shit. So we're gonna come over here. I'm gonna just keep spawning stuff in. I'm sorry. Kinda wanna get this done. It's a little bit late at night. Try to get this rushed out for you guys, and I don't that thing whole set this back. It's just kind of put a bad taste in my mouth. So we need an armor locker for the base, and we need EVA suits. Alright, so we're going to put an armor locker right there just because. Grab the EVA, throw it on us, and now we can survive negative 200 to 30, which is fine. Just enough to live on this planet comfortably. If we don't got to worry about taking it off, and more than enough for space, which is probably between negative 130 negative 150. Those are the values for the server. I don't know what exact value for this space is going to be. Probably around negative 130, but we should be fine. So now we're going to go to orbit, and we're going to troll around the asteroid field to find our Sathium and Neo. So let's go to the asteroid fields. Our gun is loaded, so in case I need to, I can fire. This is much cheaper than the tier 1. It's a piece of shit, but it works and it gets you there. If you get shot though, you're pretty much dead, so don't get shot. But this is how you get off the fastest, most possible way. Once you've, for those of you that aren't looking to get it off like ASAP, once you build that Ladybug HE miner, you're probably pretty set for what you need to do since you can just mine at a ridiculous rate. So over there we can see Promethium, so we're just kind of going to get in the center here and just swing around the ring until we find Sathium and Neo. You could also alternatively, there's Sathium right in front of us, you can see the yellow. Alternatively, you could go to the moon. I'm just going to do this. If I had a TC drill, this would be a lot easier, but we're just going to do this because I feel like it. Alright, so there's space to drone plasma. So I've got a range of 700 meters, so I gotta wait till I get in that range. And just fire and dodge. Got a first person. And he's dead. See, that was easy. I'm gonna take a single hit. And those guys have advanced computers on too, which could make me a pretty much what you need the Sathium and Neo for warp drive and tier 2 drill. So that could also be another expedition you guys could try out. Here we're gonna have to mash the button like crazy because it's gonna fly off into space. So I'm just gonna be clicking a button a bunch right there. So I just grabbed some Sathium and I'm just gonna keep clicking. Actually, I wonder if it might not be doing it. It used to be. Yeah, it doesn't do it anymore. It used to be like these would just fly off at ridiculous speeds, like this movement. If we get sped up, it would just fling out there. You wouldn't be able to get it. So now I don't gotta mash like crazy, so this is fine. 34 Sathium more should be enough, so now we're gonna go find some Neo. And that, if we're unlucky, it could be all the way on the other side. It can take a little bit to find. But we're gonna look for it. Oh, and we're lucky. They appeared right next to each other. Do remember you will need a minimum of 5 ore to make the 10 ingots, so I think all you need is around 10 ingots. So you're going to need a minimum of 5 ore here. I usually grab around the 20s just so I have some extra. Use the arrow keys here because it's going to turn me a lot quicker than my mouse will with this piece of crap RCS. And we're going to remember that we came out somewhere over that side over there. It went straight and flew around over here, so we're going to try and, again, make our distance shorter since we move faster in space and just kind of get around to that side of the planet before we re-enter. If you're really pinching on fuel here, you can go to devices, keep these auto grouped, and turn off the front thruster. Speed up. And I'm no longer losing speed because my front thruster is not active. Once I get within a certain range of that planet, they'll all start to lose speed due to its gravity. But it'll also lock me in at a certain rate where I can just turn off my engines and just fly and coast in. See, right now I'm starting to lose speed due to the gravity. I'm going to turn these back on. And I'll show you what I'm talking about, where I can just kind of, right here I can lock in, just turn it off, and I lose speeds a lot slower. And we just got in, so I'll turn myself back on. And our base is back here, so waypoint that. Oh crap. It is too far away, it's not moving for whatever reason, so let that chill there for now. There's all the stuff I was making before I just got bored. Instead of waiting, keeping you guys waiting while I kept the video off, I just kind of used the H menu. So there's that stuff. So now we're going to throw that in there, build a warp. Probably going to need about 50 blocks. Gravity generator, a tier 2 RCS, 6 of these blocks. A ventilator. And a door for now. We're also going to need to come over here and research some stuff. So back to Capital Vessel, you will probably need these fuel tanks. And the small generator should still be enough. So, like, I'm going to stop the video again now. What I would queue up if I was actually going to wait, I'm just going to use the H menu to make this quicker for you guys, is after all this was done, I would queue up this tier 2 fuel tank, a small generator. I may need more blocks later. I'll probably queue up some landing gear if I'm really feeling that. Maybe lights, not really needed. And I would queue up some window blocks because I'm going to need to be able to see it. I mean, you can see in third person, but everybody likes to see in first person every once in a while. So I queue that up. That's it. I'm not going to put a turret on this. I don't think I'm going to need it. So we're going to leave that off. So there's our CV block. There's the cockpit. So we're going to put some stuff here and an extra layer on each side, just so it's a little bit easier to place things. Oh, that shouldn't be there. Alright, we're closer now, so let's take this guy out. We're in there. So that wouldn't normally be there, so we're just going to delete that. Oh, I can't actually delete things here. Alright, so let's put our windows in front of us, and only in front of us, so you actually would need 6, or you could even use less if you use other windows. I'm just being lazy. Come back here. Get up top, hold Control to make this nice little thing there. Connect it to the other side. It is stable right now, but you know, just in case, connect that to the other side. Let's go grab our door, because I do know where I want to put our door now. So we're going to take our door, put it there, get rid of these other doors, trash that. That's going to go there. Put these up. And now you have your sealed in compartment. What else are we not? I don't want to put the gen here because it does put off a lot of heat. We did say we had a gravity generator. That puts off a little weird heat as well, and it's relatively large, so I don't want to put it up here with the cockpit. Ventilators. You guys almost let me miss the ventilator. Alright, so we're going to put the ventilator over here, and we can have the O2 tank in this room as well. Alright, so we're really packing it in here. Open that. So you might need more than 60 blocks. I'm going to grab some more, so you know what you're kind of getting yourself into. Alright. So we're going to put the gravity generator back here. What else did we need? Oh, this has got to go back here. And we're going to need our warp drive. And the most important part, this thing's freaking huge. So it's just going to sit like that. And now, oh god, what is that brightness? That was terrible. But you could probably sit in SV if you want to make a little bit more. You cover this up and crap like that. So now we're just going to get on top of here. Yes, we can't. So we're just going to do it over here. So here's up. You can dock the SV up there. So here's the up one. There's this. I don't know why it doesn't want to place, but the down thruster. You don't want to sit on these too long either. They get, oh, they're not on, so they're not hot, but usually they are. It's kind of weird. So there's the left, so we're going to make the right now. Alright, so now we just need forward and back. Do that on top. Forward. And back. So that's all 6 directions. We didn't even use all these blocks. We really used, what, 68 blocks? Trash these 6 window blocks, not all of them. I am going to need some fuel. Oops. I'm going to assume at this point we are using still small Promethean packs, so let's see how many it takes to fill there. 90. So be prepared for that with your Promethium. You're going to need some O2 in order to ventilate the area so you can breathe in here. So let's grab some O2. I think the value for these is 50. Oh, it's 200. So this takes 2,000, so it's going to take 10 bottles. We're going to press P. Oh, and we're missing the RCS. Look at that. Isn't that helpful? It tells you what you're missing. RCS. So we're going to grab the tier 2 because I said that's what we were going to make earlier. And we're just going to throw the tier 2 up here. And now we're done. So we're going to hold P. We're going to auto group. We're going to go to main, turn on the power, turn on the oxygen. turn the ventilators automatically on. Now, so this area is oxygenated and take a lot of oxygen, so it went from 100 to 98. That's because it took oxygen from here, flew it through the ventilator, and oxygenated this area, which is why we sealed ourselves in. As you can see by the shield here, we are sealed in. Now I missed one vital part. I am sorry. The warp drive tank. You will need this, so let's put that right there. And so let's get some pentaxid. Alright, so now we're ready to take our journey. Sorry for all the missteps there, guys, and the not raw count of numbers, but you saw what I did to get off planet quick. Now, like I said, if you want to make sure you have something to get off planet a little later, because you want to have more stuff, you're not trying to just get off quickly and get to your PvP area like this video is about, please just use the Ladybug miner, whatever HV miner you decide to use, and just mine a bunch with that. Mine the meteorites, move around in it, you should be fine. Clear some POIs by hand, put a homing rocket launcher on it if you really want to clear the base as well, put extra layer armor, you know. Normal stuff. So that one small generator was able to keep this ship under 100% power usage. Oh, not anymore with the multiple different levels, but I'm not too concerned about that. So we're in the PvP area, so let me break down this map for you. So this you spawn, this is all you see, right? Yeah, it's kind of annoying. Now you gotta explore where you gotta go, whereas before you would see the whole beautiful map laid out right here. You can see our map on our website. It's in our Discord, or you can find us by just Google searching Shattered Galaxy Wix. We're the first link. So we're also linked when you search the servers, but not a big deal. So the first thing you gotta do is go to Mysterious Wormhole. These areas are also starters, so don't try and go there. So let's go to the Mysterious Wormhole. 5 pentaxid, so I want you guys to count on a piece of paper how much pentaxid this takes, because you're going to need this much pentaxid. So now that we go to Mysterious Wormhole, remember that exploring I was talking about before? It's opened up a new area, the core. So we're going to go to the core. Yes, it says 34.7 AU. Your tank doesn't use more than 25 every jump, no matter what that number is. If that number was 3 billion, it would still only use 25 pentaxid. And to prove it to you, I'll count out 30 pentaxid, 5 for the Mysterious Wormhole, 25 for this jump, when we go take a look at our warp drive tank. So these are blocks of what? 7, 7, 14, 21, 28, 30. So now we'll go to the map. So now we're at the core, and look at that, it opened up almost the whole map. So let's break down this map. So these areas, you'll notice, are color-coded to the starter. So if we came up here, and we'll do a quick warp up here just to the expanse for giggles. That's going to be another blank space area, but it's blank just for the sake, and you'll see here when I get to the map, of not being the system that everyone tries to settle in once they get to you. So now that we're here, this is what you're going to see. If you're United Colonies, this is where you're going to want to base this on these areas. They are set up so that every one of them has the basic resources, the ones you find on if you're playing single player on Akua, and a moon with Neodymium and Sathium. We'll get into the other resources in a little bit. So they're all livable, so don't worry about that. They don't have the Reshimers, Kosim, or Gold on any of them, so don't look for it. And I'm going to give the advice of bigger factions stay on the ones with more planets, and smaller factions stay on those smaller planets. Scouting is going to go first on here, and the bigger factions are going to try and attack these first. More area is just the way it is. So if you're a smaller faction, 1-2 man, you don't really know much about the game, try and base on the smaller planets first. It's going to help out. So that's what a general warp would look like. So we used 5 to the Mysterious Wormhole, 25 to the core, and 25 up here. Then you're going to need whatever these numbers wind up being. So I recommend taking around 100 once you leave the starter, try and get to your area. If you're just going to your area, make sure you got enough. But so that's how a warp line would look. So now let's go back to the core, because we have some other things to discuss in terms of the map. So let's get down here. Alright, so now that we're at the core, let's discuss some things. This pink planet here and this purple planet here, one thing you'll notice is if you look at the map on their website, there's another one pink here and another purple here. These are, I call them overflow planets. Feel free to base here, you can do that. Their original purpose was contested territory for origin leaders, or if the server got so large like it's getting now, and there's not enough room in the origins, and I don't expand them in time, people can safely base there. They usually have enough resources for you to live there safely. So that's those systems. Now let's get into the actual stuff. So we have Nox, Sample A204, and Sample 5409. These two sample planets are where you will find a restroom in Zakosum. One is alien, has Zakosum, and one is lava and has a restroom. It's built that way on purpose. Only two places in the server you can actually mine it. Read the website. In the rules, there will be things pertaining to these planets, like don't build bases over the deposits here because everybody needs to mine here. However, I don't mind if you want to just troll these places for people and kill them. That's fine, it's a PvP server. All I don't want to see is the big factions throwing down bunches of auto miner bases and just sitting there making it so it's impossible for anyone else to get it. It's the only rule pertaining to that, really. So that's where you're going to get your restrooms and Zakosum for your offline protection. By the way, your PvP, build offline protection and use it. I don't want to see complaining about, you log on and your stuff's getting attacked. He's offline raiding you. Build your offline protection. He can't attack you if you got offline protection and your base is powered. Sorry for that rant, but we've been through that with a couple of factions already that freak out because they don't do their due diligence. If you have questions about PvP while we're on this topic, please ask Colby, the admin, me. I'm happy to share my knowledge. I got over 900 hours in PvP. I know what I'm doing. ZUL, they're an origin leader for pirates. They might be able to help you. CE, the origin leader for the Reach, might be able to help you. I don't know if they're going to be as willing with their information as I am, because PvP is kind of a close guarded secret kind of thing. It's a lot of trial by fire for you to figure it out on your own. It's just kind of how the community is. But I'm happy to share some information that you ask. I'm not going to give you ship designs, but if you ask questions, I'm more than happy to help. On to Nox, that's the gold planet. Fort Knox, yeah, you get it. There's gold there, same rules as the other planets. You'll notice they're all white, so you can kind of refer to the rare ore planets as white. And then we have this other navy planet up here where it says farm. You may have noticed that farms wipe Wednesdays. These are farms. Their whole purpose is to just house POIs. So you can go raid POIs if you want heavier armor, epic weapons, things like that. That's their whole purpose. Do not base there. Don't sit in that orbit. They wipe Wednesdays for now, but now that the server is relatively large in pop, I might start wiping them randomly every couple days. So now that we've gone over that, the places that wipe is this whole triangle, except the mysterious wormhole. But for simplicity's sake, this whole diamond, I'm sorry, didn't mean triangle before, diamond wipes. Anything in here wipes. And this blue area wipes. Do not base here or here and expect to be there permanently. Alright? That concludes this video on how to get off the starter planets relatively easily. I hope you guys learn from it, and we will be having another vote in the Discord soon about what video to do next. It'll be either PvP tactics or little known facts about the game, which probably will also contain some PvP tactics since that's a lot of little known information, but it'll be a lot of stuff that beginners should look at. I will see you guys next time.